Morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rabbi.
We are learning Mishnah's Pesachim, Perek Dalet, Chapter 4, Mishna Zion, Mishna 7. Okay, so we've been discussing until now the custom, the practice that actually was done, that in some places were done, some places wasn't done, about not refraining from doing work before midday on Erev Pesach. After midday of Erev Pesach, everybody agrees there's a halacha you may not do malach, you may not do work, certain types of work. But as we're going to see from the Mishnah, this coming Mishnah, there's a difference between the work we may not do on Erev Pesach after midday and on Chol Hamoed. Chol Hamoed, we also now that we have restrictions on what kind of work we can do. Chol Hamoed being the days between the first days and last days of Pesach and Shavuot, Pesach, Sukkot and Pesach. So we have restrictions on what kind of work we can do then also. This coming Mishnah is going to show us differences between the prohibition of doing work after midday of Erev Pesach, which we'll just refer to as not doing work on Erev Pesach, and the work you may not do on Chol Hamoed. Now, the way that they kind of lay it out here, which is, it makes it easier to work with, but it's still not very clear exactly what the parameters of it are. But the way they say it is like this. On Erev Pesach, only activities that constitute labor, let's call that a higher degree of work, okay, are forbidden. That's on Erev Pesach. On Chol Hamoed, activities that involve unnecessary or excessive exertion are also forbidden. On Chol Hamoed, things such as we're going to see examples, things that you don't necessarily need to do, you don't do on Chol Hamoed. On Erev Pesach, that's not going to be an issue. So let's see the examples. You know what brooding is? Brooding, B-R-O-O-D-I-G.
It has something to do with laying eggs.
Right. Brooding means that you basically take eggs and you stick them under a hen to sit on them and they should become chicks, right? Mm. So Moshiva Shevich Latanagilim Barbasar means that we could actually place the eggs under the hens on the 14th of Nisan on Erev Pesach, even after midday, right? There's no major work in that, right? But the fact that it tells us that you can do it on the 14th implies that you can't do it on Chol Hamoed. Why not? Because here you have this egg. At this point, before you put it under the hen, you have a choice. You could eat it, or you could leave it under, or you could put it under the hen to sit on and turn into a chick. So therefore, since you don't need to put it under the hen, you could do something else with it. That's called unnecessary work, unnecessary exertion. And on Chol Hamoed, you can't do it, but on Erev Pesach, you could. Now, the Mishnah continues, a chicken that ran away. This chicken was sitting on the eggs, and it decided, I had enough, and it runs away. Flew the coop. We could bring it back to its place. Now, the Paratanura points out, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about Erev Pesach? If Erev Pesach, you can put the eggs under the chicken in the first place, well, the more so, you should be able to take the hen back to sit on it. So what we're actually talking about now is we're switching over to Chol Hamoed. Now, Chol Hamoed, we're saying, on Chol Hamoed, if the chicken was sitting on the eggs and it ran away, you could bring it back, right? There's a hassle in that, but you can do it. The reason you can do it, the Bartanura points out, is we're talking about a circumstance where, you might say, well, if the hen ran off the egg, right? So now I'll eat it. I have to go fight with the hen to get back here. I'll eat it. The answer is we're talking about it's already been sitting on the egg for 3 days. At that point, you can't eat it anymore. It's inedible. The only thing you can do now is to keep it under the hen so that should produce a chick. That's called davar aved. That's called the loss if you don't take care of it. And therefore, on Chol Hamoed, you can do that. You can bring it back. The imesa, and if the Taina Gailas died, you needed to replace it. You can replace it with another one. Because at this point, again, 3 days later, 3 days after the first hen was sitting on it, there's nothing else you can do with it but to have it continue sitting under a hen to become chicks. and therefore it's called davar avid. It's considered a loss, and you can do it on Chol Hamoed. Okay, that's the first case of the Mishnah. Next case, garfen mitachas ragle behemer b'asar. You may clear away dung from under an animal's feet on the 14th of Nisan, and you could. What it means here is, and you could take it out to a dung heap. Okay, right? You're cleaning out the dung from the animal from between its feet, and you shovel it up, and you can take it out to the dung heap. Right? That's where it goes. Uvamayed masakin l'stadin. On Chol Hamoed, though, you may only sweep the dung to the side of the yard. You may not take it out. That's considered unnecessary exertion on Chol Hamoed. Okay, you can deal with it. It's not like it has to go out to the dung heap. It's definitely for that, but you can also push it over to the side so that now it comes out on your way. But on the bottom, they bring down from the Gemara. But if the yard is cluttered with dung, and there is no room to push it aside, the dung may be taken out to the dung heap. This is a case of necessary exertion, which we're on Chol Hamoed. You're telling me don't take it to the dung heap, I can move it to the side. What if I can't move it to the side? Got to leave it in the middle? That not. So even then on Chol Hamoed, you'd be able to take it out to the dung heap. Okay, so that's ubamayed masakelet stadim. On Chol Hamoed, you can't take it out to the dung heap. You got to move over to the side, unless it's not an option anymore, and then you could, even on Chol Hamoed. Next case, one can bring utensils to the house of a craftsman and take them back on Erev Pesach after midday. Now, you are not bringing these things to the craftsman necessarily for the craftsman to work on them on Erev Pesach after Chatzos, because he's not supposed to be doing that. Yeah. But you can bring it there, and he's going to work on it later. And if you have things there that need to be picked up, you can pick them up. That's what it means. You can take and bring back utensils. Here it means, things that you left by the craftsman, from the house of the craftsman. Even though they will not even be needed for Yontif. Okay? But on Chol Hamoed, when necessary exertion is forbidden, one may retrieve only utensils needed for Yontif, such as plates and cups. The only thing you could bring back, right? Meaning you wouldn't be able to bring it there. Mm-hmm. And the only thing you could bring back on Chol Hamoed are things that you need. If you have things by that were fixed that you need for Yontif, or actually, such as they call plates, cups, whatever it may be, something that's a need for the Yontif, then you'd be able to pick it up from the craftsman. But if you don't need it for the Yontif, you can't pick it up from the craftsman on Chol Hamoed. But on Erev Pesach, after Chatzos, after midday, you'd be able to, even things you don't need, bring there to him and bring back. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.